different brain from me. Kicked her out the whip, she bought the train, homie. I'm insane. Smoking backwards to try to ease this pain. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
We back at it like a crack addict. It's your host, Mr. Morals and Money. We are here. It is Morals and Money. And I'm here with nice, lovely pastor. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, how are you? My name is Pastor Shantes Etchell, Boogie Down Bronx. That's who I am. We're coming from that area.
Mm-hmm. And what church are we live in?
Okay, this is St. Peter's Deliverance Ministries. We're located at 937 Home Street in Southern Boulevard. If you're from this area, you know it's Freeman Street right down the block.
Mm-hmm. We are right next to the 2 and the 5 train.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yes. Right in the heart of the South Bronx.
Yes.
And to get this started, how did you master a plan to get this building and found this church?
Well, I have to give history and back to the former bishop. His name was T.B. Jackson. And basically, he was the person who actually had the blood and the sweat and actually tilled the ground and the land. And St. Peter's as a whole worked together. And from that produced where they had land and the Lord had blessed. So we can get the record straight. They have appointed me to be the first female woman pastor. And with that knowledge of understanding real estate and what we as a church can build for the community and do for the community, we decided to partner and build some affordable housing for this community.
That's great. That is great. We definitely going to get into that. But before we get into that, I want to get into some of your background. How did you even get into the faith of being a devoted Christian and wanting to get into the ministry of being a pastor? And also, I know with my background of believing in the Most High, believing in the Lord, and knowing some of the denominations, that some denominations don't allow women pastors to be in the church. Maybe a usher or evangelist or the choir and things like that, or the head of the choir, or maybe even on the pulpit, but not so-called preaching. So just let's get to the background of how did you get into.
First, I have to give all of that to my parents. My mom and my dad, we came from a big family, 5 boys, 3 girls. So I guess my mom was being intentional and making sure we go to church. So we all went to church.
Church is definitely pivotal.
Yes. So doing that taught us the values, the morals, the compass. Came into St. Peter's when I was 16 years old, went to college, and from college I started a prayer revival in terms of a prayer band where we would pray together. People would come down from the college, from Elizabeth Seton, New York, and come to St. Peter's. And when they would come there, the Lord would bless them, and they would have a relationship with God. And from that, just started studying, went to seminary college, theology, to learn the study of God. I heard a lot of things about what people were saying about God, but I wanted to know who God was for me.
Your relationship, definitely. Your relationship. My mom always say your relationship with God is the most important. It don't really matter what somebody else says, but if you're reading the Bible yourself, your relationship with God is the most important. Nobody can. It's your what's the word I'm missing?
You have a hunger. I look at it like that. You have a hunger and thirst after
knowledge,
righteousness. Yes, that you shall be filled. That's what the word of the Lord said. And eventually I started teaching Sunday school, adult Sunday school, just teaching and learning, always learning and always giving. I was always visible in the community. I don't know if anybody know Beth Hart Ministries. That's Bethel Assembly down on 123rd Street. Stand corrected.
In Madison?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I do actually. Wow, that's so crazy. It's a small world, man.
I used to
The
do
Lord will
counseling,
always
volunteer from a
the Lord will
college.
always bring
Yeah.
people together. I used to go to a summer camp in that church.
Wow, small world.
Yes,
Small
my
world.
mother put me in a summer camp because she used to work in North General on
Wow.
120th.
Yeah, right over there.
Yeah,
Wow, small world. We attended there while we were in
that was a nice big
college.
church too.
Yes, we were in college, so we had to do internship, and one of them was to actually do street ministry, and we did that. So I got a chance to learn about the community, see what it looks like, and I realized people look different.
Hmm.
They didn't look just like church people. They didn't look just like what I was raised to believe, because God is in everyone,
Hmm. Right.
and I saw Him exhibited in everyone's life, and I was like, wow, this is different.
Hmm.
This is how God looks.
So, are you from Harlem or you from the Bronx?
Actually, I'm from the Boogie Down Bronx.
Okay, okay,
Totally.
all
I'm
right.
from Bronx River.
Okay, okay. Shout out Bronx River.
Parkchester, yes.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, from the Bronx. Love it.
okay. So, with all you said, you went to basically college to
Yeah.
learn. So, did you ever stray away from the church? Because
Absolutely. I would never, ever, ever give you the impression that I
Mhm.
was the good girl. No.
Right.
I had moments. I had times when my mom held me strictly, raised us up, that when I got 18, I was like, we gonna do our thing now.
That's the word that was slipping my mind. Discernment. So
Yes.
your discernment always brought you
Yeah.
back to the Most
Absolutely.
High, to the Lord.
Absolutely, yes. But I had my moment in the sun, you know. My thing is, graciously, God just kept His hand on me, because I had a praying grandmother and I
Mhm.
had a praying mother.
Right.
And those
right.
things are so really true.
It really is.
When I was on the dance floor, I would hear my mother, Peaches, Peaches. I was like, oh my God, I can't
Yes,
even
you
get no
always-
satisfaction. I was
Wow.
trying to hang out, do my thing, hit it, twist it up, do
But
it
you
up.
can never go too far because
No,
you
because,
always have
yeah.
a voice in your head.
You know, if I could be frank and honest, there was a time when me and my girls, we were hanging out. We was in my aunt's house, right? And, you know, we was doing our thing, stuff we was not supposed to be doing, but we was getting it on, getting twisted. And I remember I stopped and I said, wait a minute, y'all, I got to put music on. They thought I was going to put some jam on. I put some Christian music on. They said, what are you doing? We don't want to listen to no gospel. Are you crazy? You messing up my high. I said, no, I'm not crazy. That's why I'm playing it. So I can remember. I don't want to get lost. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to get strung out. I don't want to get lost. So I knew if I kept
That's
hearing
so
it in
funny.
my spirit, that it'll keep me like
keep
conscious.
balance.
Yeah, keep the balance. I'm like,
You don't want to tip
so-
too over. You don't want to tip over
Yeah,
too much.
yeah.
That's
Right.
just-
So I wanted to
used
stay.
to feel the same way growing
Yeah,
up because
yeah.
my mother is the same way, a praying mother.
That's
so would
right.
you say like your foundation
Absolutely.
is definitely the reason why you are
who I
you
am.
are
Yeah.
today?
I believe that has a significant part. You know, going through life,
Mhm.
when life is happening in your life, your pain, your stressors, your setbacks, things like that, your seasons of silence, seasons of gratitude, that's what make you become the person that you are.
Mhm.
I am not a typical pastor. I will always say that. It was a
Well-
long time
Mhm.
me trying to find my balance, because no woman pastor preaching, because I don't look like pastor, because my conversations in my community doesn't look like others.
Mhm.
It was like, at the end of the day, what does God want from me?
Right.
At the end of the day, am I reaching people? At the
Mhm.
end of the day, am I touching a heart?
Mhm.
At the end of the day, am I loving on someone? At the end of the day, am I helping someone?
Right.
At the end of the day, when I sleep at night, I know that I did the best. And that doesn't mean that I don't have mistakes. That doesn't mean that I don't fumble. It doesn't mean that I don't drop the ball. It doesn't mean that, I can't be, pressured and touched. It's just that I stay focused and
Mhm.
try to be committed and dedicated so I can maintain my grace.
I felt that.
Because life be lifing sometimes. And it does. And you just got to make the best out of
Yeah. You
what
gotta roll
it
with
is.
the punches
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
have faith and believe in God that
That's
you can-
right. That's
He's
right.
gonna
And this
give you
is
the
real.
strength to keep going.
That's right. Real
Yeah,
truth.
because life is gonna break you down and stress will kill,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you have to keep going and believe in yourself and
Mhm.
believe that is bigger than you.
Yeah, it is.
It's
It
bigger
is.
than us.
Yeah.
And we all have faults, like you say. Like, even you as a pastor, you're not
Mhm.
gonna always have the right answer or do the
The
right
right
thing
thing, yeah.
because it's hard.
Yeah.
You're a human being. We all have flesh, and that's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
The flesh, we can't let the flesh take over.
That's right.
So
that's right. Yeah.
That's big.
When you really know you are rooted in God when people backbite you, talk about you, say all manner of evil against you, and you still supposed to have the love of God. Is that easy? Not at all.
Because He always saying forgive.
Not at all. Not at all. But at the same time, you have to be wise and ask God how to help you deal with those with an understanding that you're getting closer to God. But as you are moving and grinding, you learn how to embrace and say, Lord, it's not what they do to me, it's what I do to them.
Right.
Which matters.
Right. That's right. Super facts.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's an amen.
Amen.
That's what that is. So you said, you mentioned not that you don't look like the typical pastor. What, expound on that. What does the typical pastor look like?
Okay,
and I also wanted you to say what denomination is the church and are you, since you are a pastor of the word.
Okay. Ask that question again.
Which denomination are you in the church? Besides
that part, I got that part, the first one.
What is the typical pastor since you?
Well, you know what it is? Growing up in Christendom and growing up in Pentecostal church, which I don't look anything like it. We were not able to wear makeup, lipstick, growing up back in those days.
Yes, tell a background of how of those the belief of Pentecostal and the Baptist and things like that, because people say they're Christian and they go to church, but really
that's
don't.
Not right. That's going to church,
and they really don't understand the history of how a lady was supposed to look in the church.
Back then, we wore beanies. We had our head wrapped. We could not wear open-toe shoes. We couldn't wear short sleeves to your elbows. Should be longer. You were supposed to wear stockings when it's hot, and in my case, I had issues with it because I had hairy legs, so it was sweating, perspiring, and they didn't understand it, and I wasn't trying to be fresh and disobedient. It was just, and it was so uncomfortable. But growing up, women preachers, they were elders, they were evangelists in the churches. There weren't too many pastors in this movement as maybe a decade or two started creeping in where women were able to preach not in the pulpit, but down flat-footed on the floor, the base of the pulpit.
Yes.
That's probably why I feel most comfortable preaching there, because I feel that I can reach people more. That's why I do it. I feel that I can zoom in and feel the hearts and the pain, just like Jesus when he was in the boat. When they started following him, all the people from far and near, north, south, east, and west, he started moving further away, because he wanted to bring them in an audience of one, that they were at the shore and he could come further out and speak to them, not be distracted, not be, crushed and just perplexed about what people are saying and thinking, but just stay focused as to, I come that you may have life and that more abundantly. Even if you're broken, whatever area you're broken in, I'm coming for you. You know what I mean? Whatever you're suffering with, whatever you're having challenges with, wherever you're just dealing with life, come in and just breathe on you and make life worth living. That's why I do this thing called church. You know what I mean? That's why I do it. I love it because I love God's people.
Yes. And he actually put it in you.
Yeah.
It was blessed upon you. He tapped your shoulder to do this. That's why.
Yeah.
Also, it wasn't just a choice that you came upon.
But now our faith is, we're still Christians, we're still Pentecostal, but now it's more non-denominational. Why? Because I'm a different breed.
My mother actually preaches at her church.
Really?
Also.
Yeah.
So that's
good. That's
the funny thing about it. But that she came from that. That's why I asked that question. I came from those churches as well. Yeah. I went to church on 116th in
Soul Saving?
No, Salvation
Deliverance.
Yes.
Oh my God, this is so cool. Yeah, we came up with Mother Webb. She was one of my first pastors. She was a woman pastor, so I learned from her. Then Bishop Jackson. Yeah. So I've had a chance to go around to other churches. I'm in covenant agreement with Bishop Curtis Douglas, excuse me. But the point is, you learn to go around the circle so you can learn more, so you can do more, so you can expand your community to be better at becoming you. I've learned that growing up in Christianity that a lot of things were taboo. We couldn't do, couldn't go. We couldn't go to the movies. We couldn't do this. We couldn't do that. And then I started realizing as we got older, it's like, don't make your, what is that? Your good be evil spoken of. But at the same time, you know, you got to be watchful as well as prayerful, but you got to make decisions. Whereas, okay, if I do this, I'm offending my brother. So should I not do it in front of them or just don't do it at all?
That's a choice to make.
Yeah. So, because in my home, we live a certain way accordingly, and we respect each other a certain way. But in other people's home, they live and do what they want to do, and it's all good. But at the end of the day, you got to make those choices and decide what it is that you want to do for you and your home.
True. And at the end of the day, you got to know what was right and what was right for the Most High.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if he gonna think it's wrong, then you know it's wrong.
That's right. That's right. You know, I always tell my son, I was talking to him the other day, the fruits of the Spirit, you should be exhibiting that. And when you're talking to me, I should be feeling it and seeing it. Not we're perfect at it, but you're working and striving towards it.
Right.
If you don't have joy, baby, you better celebrate. Try to get some joy. If you don't have long suffering, get online because it's coming. You know, it's just that it's a part of life.
Yeah.
Love, forgiveness.
And it's hard. Forgiveness is definitely hard.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's hard to forgive someone who's stabbing you in your back. It's hard to forgive someone who's setting you up. It's hard to forgive someone who's sabotaging you. It's hard to forgive someone who don't mean you well and then come to you and kiss you on the cheek.
How do you deal with that as a
be honest
regular
with you,
human being?
I have to. What I do is I step away.
Love people
I don't like to. I try very hard not to respond and to react because that's me. That's going to be me all day, 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Right.
That's all me. So instead of me stepping out of character and stepping out of what's not right, I step away. I walk away.
Right.
And I give myself time to be in my feelings and my emotion inwardly with God and me. That wasn't right. I don't like it. I feel hurt. I don't like the way I feel. I feel some kind of way. I'm going to tell him a piece of my mind. I want to go back and do this tomorrow. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do this in a couple of days pass. And God simmers me down. And he begins to talk to me and walk with me literally and say, it's not what they say. It's what you say. It's not how they handle it, but how are you handling this?
So do you, and with that being in any type of relationship, are you married?
Yes.
So in a marriage.
Ooh, baby. You didn't ask me how many years.
How long have you been married?
34 years.
Blessings.
That's God. That's
My
God.
parents have been
every day is not perfect,
30.
but that's God. You know, every day wasn't just everything.
It's a
but
battle.
yeah.
It's a battle.
Yeah. It's two personalities becoming one. And you know,
two
that's
minds
real.
Trying to become a union.
Exactly. And that's real. And sometimes, you know, we're stubborn. And I know I'm a piece of work. I know I'm a piece of work.
So with that, what I
way,
was about to ask, with you saying you step away, how do you deal with it in a marriage, and how would you tell people to deal with it in a marriage when you button heads or things ain't going right or it's rocky?
Well, what I would say, 34 years is a long time. It's a long time. And, you know, I always say first 5 years, I didn't have any kids when we got married because I wanted to learn him and I wanted him to learn me, but I wanted to still keep my freedom. Let's be real. The next set of 10 years, I had the kids. So the focus became the children. 15 years, it was about running the kids all over the world. So when we did have disagreements, which we did, and when we did not like each other for a moment, which we did. Hello.
Okay, talk about it.
Go to the next room, I go to the other room. We're blessed. We got 4 bedrooms. God is gracious. You know, and the kids are grown and young adults now. So pick one, choose one. I'm going in here. You stay up there for a moment. But it didn't always start that way. It started becoming more of a reality because as you get older people, seasoned people, mature people, you realize that your snoring bothers the person. And you realize that your habits and stuff like that, You need to have your moment. But with that saying, going back to communicating with my husband, if me and him was at wit's end, we didn't stay there long, thank God. I would tell him what I feel, and he would tell me not what he feel, and I would come back and say, you didn't say anything, and he would say, oh, I did. I got to think about this. What do you got to think about? Men, I always say, go from here right to the middle and stop. Women, we go here and go all the way across. We be moving, our mind be moving and moving and moving and moving and working. So we just learn how to just come back and don't go to bed angry. I try not to really go to bed angry because I don't want to start my day off like that. Think about it. If I go to bed with you angry, I'm going to wake up angry. I'm going to wake up bitter. True. I'm going to wake up with an attitude. No, I'm not perfect. It's just mean that certain things I will do and certain things I don't want to do. Now, I don't want to wake up with an attitude all the time. It becomes a habit. Yeah, and it's just going to be every day. So then we're going to be walking through the house all the time. I'm not doing all that. That's just... that's not me. I'm not that girl.
That's a fact.
I'm not that girl.
You don't believe in divorce?
Well, according to the Bible, the word of the Lord says divorce is not something that, he is in agreement with.
Yes.
Right? But I cannot tell others or what other people can do. I can only give them reference of what I refer to, which is the word of the Lord. Because at the end of the day, if somebody is beating you up, abusing you, right? Trying to kill you.
That's just too much.
Because if I'm being truthful and if I could be transparent with you, my mother had 8 kids, 5 boys, 3 girls. And she was married twice. And I'm being honest. Because her first husband did exactly that.
You gotta
try to kill her. You know what I mean? Yeah. So in return, she turned around and took a frying pan, and knocked. Yeah,
gotta do that.
And ran out the house with the kids.
Got to do that.
You understand what I'm saying? So it was survival.
Yeah.
So,
but like
so it's different. Circumstance with different people, because I don't want people to feel bad and say, well, God don't love me. No, that's not it at all. He's always going to love you.
Ain't trying to keep you in no bad situation.
That's right. At the same time, now you're going to be strangling all of that.
He's going to bring you out of it and then bring you to the side.
That's good for you. That's right.
That's better for you. Yeah. He's going to give you something better.
Yeah.
That's why trials and tribulations, and then there's good days.
Yeah. And I shared something with the audience that I've never shared with anyone. And my family probably will be like, no, she didn't spill the beans. But I'm doing it because it's helpful. I believe in being transparent. People go through stuff. Yeah. And they put passes on a whole nother platform. And it's like, listen, I bleed when you...
I actually work in that side of the social work.
Really?
In the DV side. So
wow.
Yeah, the fact that I'm telling you, people always need that reassurance that it's gonna be better.
Yeah, and they're gonna be okay.
And they're gonna be okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know that you're just not a pastor. What other businesses, like you mentioned, you have knowledge in real estate. So what else do you dabble in and get into? Do you have your money into what does your portfolio look like?
Thank you. That's so nice. But I've been blessed and fortunate to work with CMC Development, and they're a real estate and development company. And basically they provide and build affordable housing. And also work with Greg Carragras. He's the lawyer who actually just makes it work. Like, this is what it should look like. This is what you need to be doing. And they decided to come circle around, talk to the church, find out what our options could be. And in that moment, I realized, okay, I have a mind for business. What are we going to do? Churches don't think outside of the box. Not all of them. Right? They stay safe and remain safe because it's what they know. I said I wanted to do something risque. Let's partner together, praying that you do right by me and praying that we do right by each other. So I partnered, with them and Help USA to provide 72 affordable housing. Yes. Okay. Yeah, 72 affordable housing units. So we place 72 families, place to live, never having a place to know as home And I feel good. I
That
can
is a
sleep. You
blessing.
know what I mean? It's like
That is a blessing.
family.
Is that
So
just the homeless side?
no, it's two things going on. Low supportive housing
Okay.
is like units separate for them, and then you have families that have children, and sometimes they come through the doors and come sit with us in church. And every time I see them, my heart just leaps with happiness because that's my
Yes, that's your
thing
give back.
right
That's
there.
your
You know what I
blessing to
mean?
them.
Like
Yeah.
every time I smile, whenever I have a sad day, or when my day is not the best, or when people don't support you,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I can say, look what the Lord has done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. You know what I mean? Look how many families are being touched. Yes. And we have staffing on site, psychologists, a social worker, all the needs that needs to be attended to so they can survive and be successful
Mm-hmm.
at living in the place. If they're a shelter, they've come from the shelter, excuse me, they don't know what this look like.
Mm-hmm.
They've never been in this type of living environment on your own.
So they have
They
to
got to
be a
pay.
part of the shelter system of Help USA?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
yes.
is there any other programs with the low
Yes.
income buildings that
Yes,
you
it
work
is. Yes. So what we do is we actually collaborate together, and we are offering, as we speak now, getting together with other people who are actually doing the cycle part of this, the mental piece of this, the physical piece of this, coming together, incorporating so they can get healthier and have better ways and better tools to live day by day.
Mm-hmm.
And what that looks like, we're going to operate programs here at the church.
Okay.
Because
That's
we have two
great.
floors. We have the sanctuary, and then we have upstairs,
Mm-hmm.
which is the fellowship room and a youth room.
Mm-hmm.
God is great.
That was going to want to be one of my next questions as
Mhm.
well. With how do you feel with the climate with you in this church being in the South Bronx of the neighborhoods and the youth? How do you feel like there's no real youth within the church?
You know,
How can you bring the youth in and really bring them to have some understanding of faith and like we said, belief in themselves and it being bigger than themselves?
you know, sometimes I get disheartened because our generation is mostly mature, seasoned
Mm-hmm.
people we have here. That gap we're missing. So what we've done and what we are doing is we offer cultural, arts and craft, educational programs with entrepreneurship, banking, being aware of wealth and generational wealth. So we're educating and empowering, we're getting people to come in to talk with us who are educated in this, to come sit with us, teach us. We just had, we don't believe in Halloween, but we just had a service where we had the kids come in and our teacher donated all free painting and everything we needed so they could paint the pumpkins. And we talked about the real meaning of what Halloween means. You know, that's Satan's birthday. That's not what we celebrate at all. You know what I mean? That's his birthday. We don't celebrate that. We don't give him kudos in no way. And no offense to anybody else who does it. That's just you. Do you. We're going to do us. This is what we do over here.
Right.
So we educate them in that way. So what we've been learning to do, because I've been in special needs educator for over 20 years, I bring that back to the community. Like, how do I use my skill set to let it implement and incorporate that with God's you know, his plan, his purpose? What does that look like?
Yeah, that's good. I definitely seen the youth room.
Yeah.
Y'all mad toys in there. Y'all about to have a toy drive?
Yes, we're so excited, so excited. December 7th. Okay. Anyone can come. Anyone can come.
I'm about to Malls and Money and Copper Color Productions. We about to host a coat drive as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we about to do that with a community center around 183rd.
Should have thought about
RTG.
us next time. Yeah, we got to collaborate, stretch, and expand. That's one thing about me. You know, I'm ready to go. Let's get it going. Let's go. Let's go. Let's run the place. You know, let's make it crystal. But yeah, we're going to have something on December 7th. And actually, it's going to be at 2 p.m. It's going to be here. We're going to have what is her name? Celia Cruz is going to be here. The choir, the high school choir. They can sing.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be awesome. It's $15. Why? Because we needed to continue to invest in the toy drive because we're giving out toys to everyone.
Okay. And are they giving out toys just here, or y'all going to be outside?
Well, actually, we're going to invite everyone in.
Okay.
So on the 7th, we're going to have the what you call the choir sing, and then on the lookout. I'm sorry, this December 22nd, we're going to have Toys Drive, and everybody come and pick up their toys. So if you're here at 937 Home Street in the Bronx, New York, you're welcome to come, and that's at 2 p.m.
If you're around the Interville area, Freeman, Simpson, Washington, Webb, you're only walking distance, come through, bring your child.
And get a coat, right?
Yes, bring a coat. Come get a toy.
Yeah.
And come praise the Lord.
Yeah.
What?
Don't want to forget that. Yes, that is so cool. That is so cool. Yeah.
So what other
Rain for me, kicked her out the whip, she ride the train, homie. I'm insane. Smoking backwoods to try